Howdy, howdy, howdy. That's Southern for hey. Wait, that's Southern too for greetings. My name's Dan. I think you already know that. I'm going to begin a new project today. It is a project in which I need to do a 5 by 7 foot painting in which there is a portrait of a man in the middle. He's not going to be very large within the whole 5 by 7 foot frame of things, but it has to be a likeness. And to do that, I have already taken a number of steps. First of all, I went out to the car dealership, which is the context where this portrait is supposed to take place, and I took a bunch of photographs. Look at them, got it. Okay, and then I selected this one. There we go. From that photograph, I did this sketch. This one right here. Want to see it up close? There you go. And I took my sketch and I emailed it to my client. They approved of it. And now I get to begin working on the project. Yahoo. The first challenge is to get so I can draw this man. His name is BG. I'm going to draw him the old-fashioned way, you know, with the thumb and all that kind of stuff. Because when it comes time to put his likeness on a 5 by 7 foot canvas, I really want to have his likeness at my fingertips. So that's why I'm not going to use a cheater method like tracing. Now, here's a quick rule of thumb about tracing. It's absolutely legal as an artist to use whatever means you can to get the image on the paper. You have to remember, however, that if you are what I call cheating, it's legal to cheat. But if you're cheating, like tracing or projecting and that kind of thing, you just have to understand that your copy skills are deteriorating while you're cheating. Does that make sense? So if you want your skills to increase, you have to do it the hard way. Sometimes you don't have time to do it the hard way, so you just cheat and you just trace, and that's it. That's how you do it. So for this project, I'm not going to deteriorate my skills. No, sorry, not me. And I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. But I am going to use my computer to double-check, and you'll see how it goes. Let's get started. Okay, let me take just a minute to explain a little bit about my method here. Now, if you've watched many of my other videos, some of this you already know. Probably the most distinctive thing is, why do I hold the pencil the way I do? Boy, I hate to bore those of you who already know this. If you hold the pencil this way, your fingers move. If you hold the pencil this way, your whole arm moves. And the part of your brain that controls your arm is a better artist than the part of your brain that controls your fingers. So I do all of my sketching holding a pencil like this, or you know, some kind of side saddle method. I do fine detail work like this, but I've got a long ways to go before I get to fine detail here. The other thing that you'll notice about my drawing, let me zoom in here just a little bit, is of course that it is very scribbly. The reason for that, I think, again, is probably obvious, because let me point here. There's sort of an indication of a ridge of nose here, but that's the wrong one. Then I went back and changed it, made it more like this. So when you draw in a very scribbly manner, it's easy to come back and either erase or just do the more correct line a little bit harder. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next several minutes, is coming in and deciding, you know, which of these lines is most accurate. I'm going to interrupt myself right now and show you a really cool thing. I'm actually drawing on what is called a windmill easel. That's an easel that can turn at any angle like this, and it is particularly helpful for doing portraiture from a photograph, because now I can hold the photograph upside down and have the portrait upside down easily at the turn of a finger. And I see things better upside down. That's a good trick for doing portraiture if you're doing it from a photograph. It's kind of hard if you're doing live portraiture with a person. It's kind of hard to hang them upside down. I've tried it, but it got yucky. Okay, before I go any farther with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop and do my first check. And that means I'm going to find out exactly how close I am and how far I am from the real BG. I can tell I'm not right on, and I could work for many more minutes and get closer, but because time is an issue here, I'm going to stop at this point and use some cheater. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slap this on my scanner. Okay, so I have scanned in my sketch of BG, and I also have on this computer my photograph of BG, and I have tried to make them just about the same size. I'm going to copy the photograph. If you don't know Photoshop, you can skip all this. I copy the photograph. I'm going to place it on top of this sketch. There we go. Okay, there we go. Can you almost... Does that make sense, what I'm doing? It causes accountability. That is, using this approach, I can find out exactly, let me blow it up here, I can find out exactly where I'm off. There, can you see where I'm right and where I'm wrong? Let me go back to the semi-opaque. The nose, I'm basically lining it up with his nose, I think. His ear is not too far off, but it is my ear. My sketch is a little bit high. See, I need to take the ear down just about 1/8 of an inch and move it back about 1/8 of an inch. And where I missed it the most is in his, and I knew I was off here, but I just got tired. His chin, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, pretty close. Collar of his shirt, I am a little bit off. See, my line is here, and it's supposed to be forward a little bit, and higher. There we go, I'm way off there. Bottom lip needs to come down and out. This part of the chin needs to come up. I'm just going to erase this just for a minute so I can see everything clearly. Then I'm going to unerase it. You see? There, that really helps me. Going back to my drawing then and make these changes. All of my basic lines are now in place, so I'm going to take just a few minutes and do details and shading in graphite so that I have a fairly finished graphite or pencil portrait when I'm all done.